Let us start today with meditation. Yesterday we were speaking about ways to open the third eye, ways to connect deep in the self, in the Swadhisthana chakra. So this is a beautiful meditation that actually enables you to do both. So just allow your eyes to close and allow your awareness to unhook from everything in the world around you. All of the sights, the sounds, the sensations. Allow that awareness to just unhook from the constantly changing world of form. And allow the awareness to drop deeply, deep into yourself. So we're not dulling the awareness. We're sharpening it, in fact. But we're just changing its direction. So instead of noticing all of that that's happening around us, we shift and we notice that which is happening inside of us. And allow that awareness to anchor itself in your breath. Don't change the breath, but just allow the awareness to anchor itself in the breath as it flows in and flows out. Now draw the awareness of the breath, not in your chest or your rib cage, but draw the awareness of the breath low in the abdomen to this energy center called the Swadhisthana chakra, just about 2 inches below your belly button, below the navel. And allow the inhalations and the exhalations to be taken from here. Feel the lotus flower of the chakra opening and expanding on each inhalation. And feel yourself anchoring and grounding in that core seat of the self. Swadhisthana literally means the place of the self. And now as you inhale, on each inhalation, allow the breath to rise upward within you from the Swadhisthana chakra up through the energetic being, through the chakras, through the physical body, and allow that breath to rise and rise until it comes to your third eye center, the Agya chakra, just between the eyebrows. And then on the exhalation, let go and allow the breath to drop deeper and deeper back down into your Swadhisthana chakra. And if you cannot carry the breath all the way to your third eye on one smooth and unbroken inhalation, don't worry. Just carry the breath as high as you can, easily, but keep the intention and the attention on that third eye. So even if the breath doesn't actually make it all the way there, it's okay. The power of the mind's eye, that power of the energy of intention is enough. So allow yourself to rise higher and higher with the breath on each inhalation, rising upward toward the third eye. And then dropping deeply down into the Swadhisthana chakra on the exhalations, dropping deeper and deeper into the core of your being. If you get distracted or the mind wanders, don't worry. Just bring it back. Bring it back to the breath as it rises and rises, drawing upward into the power of the third eye. And then dropping deeply into that core of the self. Slowly and gently, Bring the palms of your hands together at chest level in Namaste. And gently rub the palms of your hands against each other. Press the palms of your hands into your closed eyes. Slowly lower the hands and open the eyes. Welcome to Satsang. So beautiful to be together with you all. Beginning as always with one of the questions that's come in advance, and then we'll open it up. Any questions that anyone has, just feel free. Come to the microphone here and share your question. It has been 2 weeks now since I have smoked a cigarette. I'm trying to quit, and I'm very glad that I've gone 2 weeks now without a cigarette. But whenever I am with a close friend, I just want to smoke because she smokes, and it's the power of association. But I want to stop. It makes me sad to not see her. It's just that I have changed, and so our conversations now seem negative and depressing. I'm changing in so many ways, but I miss seeing her, even with the smoking and the negativity. What do you suggest I do? And this is asked by Sakani Love on Facebook. So there's 2 important pieces here. Well, 3. The first is congratulations for quitting smoking. Beautiful, very important, not easy, but so beautiful that you've done that. And just know that you can do it. You have that power. This power of association that she spoke about, this is why in our culture we emphasize the power of satsang. You know, here when we speak about satsang, it means this. It means we gather together, we meditate, we dive into truth. The word satsang, though, literally just means in the association of, or in the presence of, truth. But that truth of existence, it's what I call the capital T truth. It's the truth that doesn't change. That divine truth. That's what Sat is, and Sang is the association. That power of an association dedicated to truth is something that is so important. It's so important in the Hindu tradition. It's important in the Buddhist tradition. In Buddhism, the core prayer that they chant, right? They chant, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. I take refuge in the Buddha, means that power of being awake, the awakened one. Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami. I take refuge in the Dharma, the teachings, the way. And Sangam Sharanam Gacchami. I take refuge in the power of the Sangha, the power of the community. So you imagine 3 things only they're talking about. Buddha, the awakened one, the Dharma, the teachings to become awakened, and the community. Like, it's that important. If you look at Buddhist teachings and Hindu teachings both, We've got so many teachings around how to live, what to eat, what to do. But none of those things are in the 3 of their core prayer. Just Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. All the rest comes later. In different teachings, different scriptures, different talks, different lists. So it's core, it's that important. The power of association. So yeah, if you've got a friend who smokes, and you used to smoke, and you're trying to quit, hanging out with your friend who smokes absolutely is going to make you want to smoke. Hanging out with people who are negative. You notice it makes us feel negative. People are gossiping, they're complaining. Makes us negative. Even if all we do is become negative about that person. Oh my God, they complain all the time, they're awful. Well, Todeko, we've become negative about them. All of this association, it changes us. It is why one of the most important tools in our toolbox of a spiritual path is to hang out with people who are spiritual. You want to spend your evenings meditating, singing kirtan, listening to satsang. Well, you better hang out with people who want to do the same thing. If your friends only want to go to clubs and bars and pubs and movies and rock concerts, you're going to have a lot of this. So remember, Sangam Sharanam Gacchami. That power of association. And yeah, we do outgrow friends sometimes. It happens. It's okay. You can still love them. But it just means you don't want to spend so much time with them. You know, it's like most of us when we're young can kind of eat whatever we want and it doesn't have any impact. And then as you get older, suddenly all of the pizzas and french fries and chocolate cakes, right? So cholesterol starts to go up, the weight starts to go up, the sugar starts to go up. Now, it doesn't mean that those foods are bad, but they're not having the impact on your body, on your health that you would like. So it's not that you say, bad pizza, I hate you pizza. It's just you recognize, we're just not going to be able to hang out every day anymore. Right? Instead of having a date with pizza every day, now maybe you have a date with pizza once every 2 months or so. Same way. On the level of our energy, our mind, our thoughts, our sanskaras, right? The food has the impact on the physical body. But relationships are like those foods sometimes. We had them for so long, we loved them for so long, it didn't seem like there was any problem. Now suddenly we notice, this person, this relationship, this friendship, it doesn't digest well. I'm not thinking the way I want to be thinking, acting the way I want to act, living the way I want to live when I am in the association with this person. So you love them, bow to them. It's not that you have to cut them out of your life forever, but give yourself some time to get strong. You just quit smoking 2 weeks ago. Give yourself some time. See her again, a few months later. In the meantime, talk on the phone, text message, FaceTime. That's all okay. You don't have to cut her out of your life. Honestly, if she were a good friend, even if she keeps smoking, she wouldn't smoke in front of you. If she were a good friend, she would recognize you're trying to quit. And for the hour or 2 hours you're together, she would refrain from smoking. But if she's not doing that, talk to her by the phone. Talk to her on WhatsApp. Talk to some other way until you're strong. Give yourself that time to get strong. You know, when we do tree plantation, you always have to put a tree guard around the sapling. Because when you first plant a sapling, if you don't put the tree guard around it, the dogs will eat it, the cows will eat it, the monkeys will uproot it. But if you give that tree a few years to grow, then it doesn't matter. There's nothing that a cow or a dog or a monkey can do. Right? They come and they swing on the branches. It doesn't impact the tree because the tree has grown strong. But in the beginning, it needs that tree guard. And in our spiritual path, when we're changing and we're developing new habits, give yourself kind of a metaphoric tree guard. Protect yourself. Surround yourself with people and circumstances and situations that are going to help you grow, that are going to keep you safe and strong. Later, no problem. I can, walk down the street or be in a park around people who are smoking. It doesn't make me want to smoke. Never occurs to me. In fact, you think, oh my God, like the smell is just awful. Maybe I could go upwind instead of downwind. The same will happen for you. But you've got to grow strong first. So give yourself some time. And congratulations on quitting smoking. Beautiful. Other questions? Any question that anyone here has, there's the mic here. Yeah, don't be shy. Yes. It always takes courage to be the first person to stand up, then everybody comes.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
We all know God is pure love and compassion.
Yes.
You still see the suffering every day in life.
Yes.
I'm particularly asking one simple question. Lately, as we have seen or heard in the news, literally thousands and thousands of children, innocent children, have been killed. Thousands and hundreds of thousands of people have been displaced, their houses dismantled,
Yes.
Humanitarian ground, even aid has been denied.
Yeah.
How do you rationalize all this done by one person? Thank you.
Yeah. When God created us, जब भगवान ने सृष्टि बनाया, और सृष्टि में इंसान बनाया, when God created humans, we were given all of that we need to attain moksha, to attain liberation, to attain self-realization. That power of being aware that we are aware. We were speaking the other night that humans are the only species who have the ability to be conscious of their consciousness. So, for example, I can focus in meditation on just being aware. And I can say, oh, that was a good meditation, I was very aware. Or, that wasn't such a good meditation, I kept losing my awareness, I was stuck in my thoughts or my emotions or my... Meaning, I am aware that I am aware. Anger arises. I am the awareness that watches the anger. And I am the one aware that I was aware of anger arising. Or, I'm aware that I wasn't aware that anger was arising and I allowed myself to be swept up in anger and I hit the guy. So we've been given all of these very special qualities for our liberation, to attain moksha, to attain the highest state of freedom. But in order to do that, God had to give us free will. Because we had to consciously choose to return to God. We've been given temptation, we've been given distraction, we've been given a monkey mind, we've been given anger and greed and lust and the vasanas and maya and all of these things. The human journey back to God is very much like a good adventure book with, a hero's journey. And there's all the different obstacles that comes, anger, lust, greed, vengeance, distraction, my mobile phone, TikTok. And the question is, if the hero's going to get to the destination in this lifetime, they have to be able, consciously, to vanquish, to conquer each of these metaphoric demons that arise on our path. But for that we need free will. Because otherwise, how do you distinguish, right? If we weren't given free will, well then there's no point of moksha. You'd never meditate, you'd never pray, you'd never do japa, you'd never do puja, you'd never do seva. Why bother? Because of free will, we are able to attain that. However, free will is the shadow side, which means that some of us, when faced with that demon of anger, of greed, of lust, of ignorance, of ego, are going to look at it and recognize, not your friend. Do not give the keys to your life to this. You recognize it, you notice it, you bow to it, anger, but you do not go along with it. You do not let it run your life. It's why we practice meditation, so that we notice those things arising and we do not give in to them. However, there are many who are not on that meditative path. Anger arises, they hit. And when greed arises, they grab. And when lust arises, they do what people do when they're overcome with lust. And when ego and arrogance and ignorance arises, they act out of that. And so the evil that we see in the world, whether we're seeing it in Bangladesh, whether we're seeing it in the Middle East, whether we're seeing it in Ukraine, whether we're seeing it in Sudan, whether we're seeing it in far too many homes across the world, is because of the ignorance, the illusion, the falsehood, the darkness, and that we are not choosing with our free will to align ourselves with truth and light. And what that means is, for the rest of us, we have 3 responsibilities of what to do. That's why it happens. Because, I don't know, kabhi-kabhi mujhe lagta hai ki I wonder if God regrets. I wonder if God regrets giving us free will. I wonder if God ever thinks ki, my God, maine kabhi aise sochte nahi hai ki wo log itna mess karenge. I don't know. I certainly think like that. I don't know how God thinks. But I think if I were God, I would certainly regret giving these people free will. It would be like putting a knife in the hands of your, brain-damaged child who is just going to go and harm people. Nonetheless, part of the divine Leela is that we have free will. And with free will means we can go right or we can go left. This is what the whole Kathopanishad is about. Nachiketa's entire, the teachings that he gets from Yamraj are, you've got two choices. There are two paths in life. Path of Shreya, path of Preya. What are you going to choose? You want pleasure? You want momentary enjoyment? You want material things of the world? You will walk the path of Preya. And then you get to come back lifetime after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime until you work it out. Or you choose the path of Shreya. The path of purity, the path of light, the path of clarity. But we have free will. And so the violence that we see in the world against humans, against Mother Nature, the destruction we see in the world, this is the choosing of a path of Preya, a path of ignorance, with the free will we've been given. So for the rest of us, we end up with 3 responsibilities. Number 1, we use whatever tools we have at our disposal. Legal tools, political tools, all of the tools that we have at our disposal to stop them from harming others. Because just because they have free will to walk their own spiritual path doesn't mean that they have a license to harm others. So we use political means, we use judicial means, we use whatever power we have, Shakti se, Yukti se, to stop them. To stop them. And, that's 1, and we recommit ourselves more and more to be the light. Because darkness is only dispelled through light. Unfortunately, we cannot lock them all up in jail. Darkness can only be dispelled by light. So we lock up as many as you can lock up. You unseat from power, from positions of power as many as you can. You dismantle power wherever you can. But ultimately, at the end of the day, darkness is only dispelled by light. So we recommit ourselves to our spiritual practices, to our meditation, to our prayers, to our swadhyaya, to our seva, to bring that light. And third, we share that with as many people as we possibly can. Where they are spreading harm and violence, we spread love and peace. And we just have faith in the divine that that power of love and peace will ultimately, eventually, vanquish the powers of darkness and violence. Yes. Yes, please.
We all believe in karmic account.
Yes.
Does that mean those children and those people who got killed in thousands, literally thousands, 100,000 maybe, they all committed the same crime, same bad karmas?
Good question. Okay. Great question. So you have tragic violence in which tens or hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands are being killed in a similar way. Did they all commit the same previous act? We see the same question arise when you have terrorism, for example. 9/11 happened. Did all of the people who died in 9/11 commit the same act that they would die in the same way? Did all of the hundreds of people who died in a plane crash together at the same time do the same thing to generate the same karma? Did all of the millions of people who died in the Holocaust, had they somehow done the same thing in this? No. They didn't. There's two ways karma works. One is from behind, one is forward. That which happens to us today is the result of our past karma. That which we've done in previous births, that which we've done in this birth. But it's not as simple as, I shot someone, now someone's going to shoot me. All the people who previously had killed somebody by a gun are now going to be lined up and they're going to be shot dead. But the experience of pain is an experience that they at some point in the past have given to someone. That is one possible way of the way that karma works. Okay, there's actually three ways. I said two, there's actually three ways. So one way is, Jo mujhko aaj mil rahe. It's because of what I've done in the past, I'm getting it back today. Kind of the boomerang effect. What you do, it comes back to you. Stimulus, response. That's the clear, simple way we understand karma. But even in that way, it doesn't mean they all did exactly the same thing at exactly the same time. It just means that they all have caused pain in such a way that they are now experiencing pain. However, when you speak about children particularly, and this is true regardless of how children die, whether they die in violence, whether they die due to an illness, whether they die in a car accident. Many times, the reason that young children lose their lives is not because of something horrible that they did, but it's actually because in their past birth, the one just before this one, they were almost done with their karmic bank account. They were almost at that place of moksha, almost completely cleared of all past karma. But just thoda sa reh gaya. There was just a little something left over, due to which vapas aana pada. They had to come back. But they only had to come back for a little period of time, because they only had a very, very, very small bit of karma left to do. So when we lose young children, in many cases recognize what we're seeing is people who just had a little bit of karma left. Their karma was done, they left the body. The third way is a way that I very deeply believe that karma also works. Not only based on the past, but also based on the future. I believe that there is a level of consciousness of the individual soul, of the jivatma, that on some cosmic level, and I don't know exactly how it works, but on some cosmic level, that soul has agreed for this particular incarnation to be one in the service of teaching the world a very important lesson. And I think that when you see these massive acts of violence that shake us and wake us up, the type of violence that make us stop and say, okay, this is not business as usual. Something really must be done. Something must change. I believe that amidst those who die, there are souls who are in that situation not because of a past karma that they're reaping the fruit of, but because that Jiva Atma has agreed to use this life as a way to shake us up. Because sadly, we are very distracted these days. We are very stuck in our own worlds. We pay very little attention to what is happening around us. Who's hungry on your walk to work? Like on your street, who is hungry? Who is sitting homeless on your street? We walk by them every day, we do not pay attention. The violence that is happening in homes, in cities, around the world, we don't pay attention. Oh, it's very far away. It's not us. And these things happen, I think, on such a colossal scale, such that we cannot ignore it. To wake us up, to make us say, okay, no more. How can we live differently? So I think amongst those who die, you've got souls that have been from all three of those different categories. Yeah. But the question becomes, okay, so their karmic journey was to die like that. What's our karma? What's our karmic journey like? What's our dharma? When we read about it, or we see it on TV or in the news, and we become angry, we become upset, what's our dharma? Just to be angry and, send out a WhatsApp missive or post something on Facebook that this is horrible? Or to actually stand up and do something? To actually change some aspect of our lives, to do something in some way. And I think that outrage we feel, that anguish we feel, spurs us to do something. Yeah, beautiful question. Yes, come.
राधे राधे माता जी।
राधे राधे।
माता जी, मेरा एक सवाल ये है कि विल पावर बढ़ाने के लिए क्या करना चाहिए करके?
Beautiful. How do we increase our willpower? You stop thinking about it like willpower. क्या है? आप सोचो आपके मन में, when you say willpower, what it means is कि वैसे मैं lazy हूँ, but I'm going to find willpower that's going to make me not lazy. Now you've created a fight inside of you. And you've given yourself an identification that says, I am lazy. I don't have any willpower. Kahin se aana chahiye. Please God, give me some willpower. I have none. And the negative self-talk is very damaging. Very damaging. Oh God, give me the willpower. I want to get up in the morning to meditate, but I just hit the snooze button every day. Give me the willpower to exercise, to eat well, but I don't. Then what happens? When you hit the snooze button, you say, Arey Bhagwan, aapne mere ko diya nahi. Main kya karoon? Then suddenly it's God's fault. I didn't get the willpower. I don't have willpower. No. Think about it very clearly in terms of your life goals. Developing willpower for something that is not actually your goal is very difficult and very frustrating and damaging. Figure out, what is my goal? If my goal is to develop inner peace, to have Atma Darshan, to have self-realization, well, what's the way to do it? Meditation, I know that. I'm going to get up to meditate not because I should. If something is shoulds, we instinctively rebel against it. Are aaj Sunday hai chodo. If it's your life goal, then whether it's Sunday or Monday or Wednesday, it doesn't matter. Because it's your life goal. It's not something that you're doing because someone says you should. So really make a list, what are your top 5 life goals? And next to each one, how are you going to achieve them? How are you going to do it? And what you will find is you will have the willpower to do those things when the goal is real for you. If the goal is not real, you'll never have the willpower. That's why being in school is so difficult. Because most children don't actually have a goal of, learning history or calculus. And that's why it's so hard to get kids to study, because we've told them, you have to learn. But cello, that's in our youth. We have to do it. There's no other option. But for the rest of our life, your goals should be that, which means something to you. If your goal is to live in peace, to live in truth, meditation is the way. Goal is to get healthy, eat right and exercise. If your goal is to have a garden, you better plant the seeds. Right? If you write down number 1 goal, a beautiful garden, you're not going to need willpower to buy the seeds. Oh, my goal is a garden, cello, let me go get the seeds. Automatically it will happen. But remember also, make goals, life goals, but then break them off into bite-sized pieces for now. So the dilemma that a lot of people do is they say, okay, cello, from tomorrow I'm going to start meditating. I'm going to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. आज कल मैं 8-9 बजे तक सोता हूँ, लेकिन कल से ही मैं 4 बजे उठ के ध्यान करूँगा. Now, what happens when that alarm goes off at 4 in the morning? You're in deep sleep because you've only gone to bed at 1 o'clock as per your niyam. You hit the snooze button, you don't even remember hitting the snooze button. You throw the alarm out the window. You do that day after day. And eventually within a week, you're going to say, Chodo, dhyan mein kuch hai nahi. It's a psychological game called cognitive dissonance. And what it means is, if my actions and my thoughts are not in alignment, first I'm going to try to change my actions, and if I can't change them, I'll try to change my thoughts. So let's say I smoke cigarettes. Now, everybody knows smoking cigarettes is very bad, but let's say I smoke. First, I'm going to try to quit smoking. क्योंकि मुझे मालूम है कि खतरनाक काम है, नहीं पीना चाहिए. But let's say that even no matter how much I try, I can't quit. Then what happens? Then slowly my mind changes. And I say, Hare, it's not so bad. That's all propaganda. I know this lady, she's 90 years old. She smoked her whole life. Usko kuch nahi hua. Because we need our actions and our thoughts to be in alignment. Otherwise, we feel very restless inside. If you say, I'm going to get up and meditate, and you don't, eventually your mind will change its mind. You will decide, forget it. And that's a very dangerous thing to happen. It's like if you take someone who's used to eating sweets with every meal, sugar in the tea, dessert with every meal, something sweet before they sleep, 5-6 times a day they're eating sugar. And then they say, cello, from tomorrow, no sugar at all. Unlikely to happen. Give them a few days of that, and what's going to happen? They're going to say, Hare, forget it, it's not so bad. Meri nani lived to be very old. Wo to gulab jamun khate, 90th birthday celebrate kiya. Right? We lose the goal we lose the resolve. Our whole identity shifts. I am someone who doesn't meditate. I eat sugar, or we just say, I am someone who doesn't have willpower, forget it. मेरे से होगा नहीं. Therefore, it's very important. Choose an action you can do. Choose a goal that is reasonable and accomplishable, because as you achieve it and accomplish it, your self-identity becomes, I am someone who achieves my goals. So if you're going to quit sugar, say, instead of having it 6 times a day, I'm going to have it 3 times a day. Chalo, I'll have it in my tea, but I'll skip the dessert at breakfast. Slowly, slowly, slowly. You're going to get up in the morning, okay, don't go from 9 a.m. to 4 a.m. Go from 9 a.m. to 7 a.m. And then a month later or 2 months later, go from 7 a.m. to 6 a.m. Another few months later, go from 6 to 5. Bite off pieces that you can do. And then you will see you have the power. You have the power. Kahin badana nahi hai. It's within you. But you have to want it. If you really want it, you will do it.
जैसे मैं अपने मन में ना बहुत सोचती हूँ, फ्रेंड लोग से बात करने, मुझे ये करना है, तो नहीं तू नहीं कर पाएगी, तू नहीं कर पाएगी, तो मेरा वहीं पे एकदम मोरल डाउन हो जाता है.
Change your friends. Really? क्या friends है? Amazing. तुमसे नहीं होगी, तुम नहीं कर पाओगे. These are not friends. These are actually enemies.
और
You need new friends.
Thank you.
Yes. This is the power of Sangha. You need new friends.
राधे राधे.
और तुम बिल्कुल कर पाओगे. पक्का. Beautiful. Sure. Yes. Last.
Didi Pranam. I am practicing yoga daily and meditate morning and evening. Last 10 to 15 years.
Beautiful.
But suddenly any bad news in my family, my blood pressure shut up. My blood pressure increase.
So, first of all, this is normal and natural. होता है. जिसको हम अपने मानते हैं. It's like if I cut off your arm, your blood pressure is going to go up. If somebody comes with an axe or a knife and they cut off your arm, your blood pressure will go through the roof. In the same way, when you feel with your family members, they feel like yours, they're yours. Something happens to one of them, it's like happening to you. If you fall and you hurt yourself, even something minor, you stub your toe, you twist your ankle, in that moment, our blood pressure skyrockets. What needs to happen is a practice of understanding that the nature of nature is change. Notice that everything changes. Allow your meditation to be on change. Watch nature, do open-eyed meditation. Watch the leaves change colors and fall. Watch the waters of Mother Ganga move. Watch a bird fly. Watch clouds move across the sky. The nature of nature is change. Things will happen. Watch the waves of the ocean. They go up, they come down. Allow your meditation to be anchored in you, in that which doesn't change, as you are watching all of that that changes. Waves are going up and down. Clouds are passing by. Birds are flying. Leaves are falling. But what is that in you that isn't changing? What is that eternal? That presence of the eternal divine that isn't changing? Anchor yourself in that. The more you anchor that, as you watch things change, then when things happen in your family also, you'll already be trained spiritually, mentally. Ah yes, change. Ah yes, change. From health to sickness. From sickness maybe back to health, from sickness maybe to death. Everything changes. Everything changes. And so it's beautiful to know about your meditation practice. Add this open-eyed meditation. And just watch with open eyes as the world changes. But you are anchored in that doesn't change. Meditate on mantras like Aham Brahmasmi, Soham. These mool mantras that remind us, I am the unchanging one. Beautiful. Have a beautiful rest of your evening, everyone. A beautiful day to our family joining us online. I hope that you'll all be sure to fill your days with the beautiful yoga, the meditation, the sacred ceremonies, the beautiful katha that's going on here all day at Parmarth, because it's such a beautiful variety of offerings and gifts to touch us and teach us and transform us. And I look so forward to being together in satsang tomorrow evening. And so much love to you all.